Good evening. It's my pleasure to welcome you all here today as we celebrate the graduation of your family and friends. My name is Shauna Sinquamani, and I'm a graduate candidate in the Art and Visual Culture Education Program. Over the past 6 years, I have spent studying art education and early childhood education here at the University of Arizona. I've explored what it means to truly and deeply listen to young children. Rather than worry about all that I should teach them, I invite them to share their stories, theories, and ideas with me. This past spring, an 8-year-old girl showed me the sculpture that she had been working on. She turned it around so I could see it from all sides and declared, "A masterpiece has to be a masterpiece from all directions." What an amazing idea, especially when considered in the context of not just art, but also life. The students who graduate today have worked hard on the masterpiece that is their lives through education. As we celebrate their fantastic accomplishments, I encourage you all to rejoice in all the ways you can make your own life a masterpiece from all directions. Create, study, play, work, love, and try to find joy in every moment. Now, I will ask that you please stand as we welcome the Dean, the Associate Dean, faculty, and our graduates of the College of Fine Arts.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Shauna. Shauna Sinquamani, everyone, let's congratulate her on her advanced work in art and visual cultural education. I love the message, viewing life from all sides. Please be seated. So congratulations to our 2016 class of master's and doctoral students. Let's start by having them, now that they're seated, stand back up so that we can now give them a big round of applause. There they are. As we acknowledge today your hard work and this big and perhaps final step on the road to careers, also known as jobs, in the arts, we must acknowledge too that learning is a partnership. The other half of the partnership is the faculty. So let's show our appreciation for their dedication to your future. Faculty, please stand. The collaboration extends even further, of course, because our graduates here today have been supported by friends and family, first during those undergraduate years, and since during this more recent phase. So, house lights up again. Let's have everyone out there who had a role in this success story stand up. Mom, Dad, family, thank you. Many of us today are breathing a sigh of relief because A, tuition payments come to an end, and B, because we missed Friday the 13th by one day. But don't relax just yet. I always think of the famous long-running comic strip by cartoonist Walt Kelly. How many parents or grandparents maybe remember Pogo? Remember that? Anybody? Pogo in this playground, the Okefenokee Swamp. Pogo would always point out that on days such as today, Friday the 13th sometimes falls on a Thursday. That said, we wish you the best for the rest of this day, Friday the 13th on Thursday. And today we celebrate your time on this campus, even as each of you contemplates the next phase of your life. The possible scenarios to success are infinite in number. More about that from a distinguished teacher with a lifetime of experience. Bruce Chamberlain is the Director of Choral Activities and Associate Director of the University of Arizona Fred Fox School of Music, and the founding director of the Tucson Symphony Orchestra Chorus. He brings to these positions 38 years of professional and collegiate experience. In addition to the standing room only performances by the Arizona Choir on this campus, over just the past 2 seasons, his guest appearances have included both national and international performances. During the 2015-16 season, Chamberlain accepted invitations to guest conduct the Vaughan Williams Doba Nomis Pacem at the Varna International Conducting Academy and the Madama Butterfly with Stara Zagora Opera in Bulgaria. In March, he guest conducted the Gulf Shore Opera Company's fully staged production of Bach's monumental St. Matthew Passion. A summa cum laude graduate of the Indiana University Jacobs School of Music, Chamberlain holds a bachelor's, a master's, and a doctor of music degree. Please welcome Bruce Chamberlain.
Thank you, Jory. Wowzers, look at this. What an awesome sight. Here we all are ready to celebrate your achievements, all dressed up in our graduate finery. And don't we really look stupid? I know these silly get-ups look pretty silly, but on May 12 in Tucson, at least they're hot and uncomfortable. It is really a thrill and an incredible responsibility for me to stand here before you and your faculty and attempt to say something insightful, profound, or even appropriate. I am struck by the perilousness of this little piece of real estate. And by that, I mean the front edge of Crowder Hall stage. I stood exactly here last Wednesday evening, the last day of class, conducting the Arizona Symphony Orchestra, the Arizona Choir, and the University of Arizona Symphonic Choir in the final concert of the 2015-16 season with essentially the same constituency in place with the same fear and trepidations. Behind me last Wednesday, like today, were my faculty colleagues and peers who provided polite, smiling support and applause, all the while wondering internally, who the hell is this guy and why does he get to do this? I should be doing that. I could do it way better. And in front of me last Wednesday, as today, are the students who will provide feigned, rapt attention, but all the while wondering internally, who the hell is this guy? And come on, get on with it. I have beer to drink and episodes of Games of Thrones to watch. Recognizing the perilousness of this strip of real estate, I am fully cognizant that, to quote Abraham Lincoln, you will little note nor long remember what I say here. And thus, I will employ the KISS method to this address. Keep it short, stupid. As I pondered this week what I was going to say to you, it caused me to recollect my own journey through the educational process, and I made the startling discovery that today, May 12, 2016, marks the conclusion of my 60th year in a row of attending school. It was September of 1955 when my mother walked me the 2 blocks from our home to the bus stop so I could catch the school bus to kindergarten, and I have been going to school ever since. You'd think I'd have gotten it right by now. If I were going to give this little address a title, it would be something like, Do Well, Do Good. With all due respect to my 7th grade English teacher, yes, Mrs. Tiernan, who must be in that big diagrammed sentence in the sky, I do know that well is the adverb and that good is a noun, and that my title really should be Do Goodly. At any rate, I'd like to take just a couple of minutes to give you 2 short stories about 2 different conductors who will demonstrate and explicate my questionable grammatical title. When I was exactly your age and at your stage of education and development, I began my college teaching career at age 23 with a newly minted master's degree in conducting from Indiana University, and I was going to set the world on fire. I had already done well and was now going to prove to everyone that I was going to continue to do well. The first semester at my new position, there was an undergraduate student who, upon 3 requests, still had not accomplished a task that needed to get done in order for me to do well. As we were getting to crisis intervention, I called this undergraduate into my office and read him the riot act. Fast forward 2 weeks, when my older, wiser mentor colleague over coffee offered me a story. He said, Bruce, I just want to tell you this little story. There were 2 crows sitting in a willow tree in a barnyard in Iowa. It is the first week of August. It's at least 98 degrees and 98% humidity, probably a lot like Phoenix. And these 2 crows were sitting there minding their own business when a cow saunters across the barnyard and drops a huge fresh cow pie. The 2 crows look longingly at one another and swoop down and gorge themselves, knowing that they had now really done well. It was so hot and they were so filled that they became dizzy and realized that they had to get back to the willow tree to get some shade if they were going to survive. There was simply no way that they could make that journey in the condition in which they found themselves. They spied an old-fashioned pump just 5 feet away and were able to stumble and fly to the pump and land on the pump handle. Still, it was so hot, and they realized this isn't the answer either. We've got to get to that willow tree. And the first crow leaps off, goes about 3 feet, and explodes, absolutely explodes. The second crow, 2 minutes later, realizes this is his destiny, but he's got to do it, leaps and explodes. My mentor and older colleague looked at me and said, "Bruce, the moral of this story is no matter how well you've done, don't fly off the handle when you're full of crap." Words to live by. Our second story begins in 1999, when internationally acclaimed conductor Daniel Barenboim and philosopher-theoretician Edward Said founded the West Eastern Divan Orchestra. Barenboim, an Argentinian Jew who has conducted every major orchestra in every major venue in the world, is by every measure, by every sense of the word, he has done well. Said, an American Palestinian and faculty member at Columbia who has written about the Middle East conflict and has had more publications than you could possibly imagine. They founded the West Eastern Divan Orchestra. This orchestra brings together young Israeli and Arab classical musicians, brings them together to sit as stand partners and make music together. There's no official language at these rehearsals. Everyone uses their own native tongue and culture to communicate through the art of music. They are forced to work together, to get to know one another as human beings, to appreciate their differences, and to celebrate their commonalities. These young musicians are from cultures and families who have been enemies for as long as anyone, and especially they, can remember. They are reminded at the beginning of each rehearsal that other names for enemy include brother, sister, parent, fellow divine human being. The name of this orchestra, West Eastern Divan, is derived from an immense collection of poems by Goethe. The collection of poems, or divan, and West Eastern refers to the fact that these poems explore not only the exchange between Germany and the Middle East, but an exchange between Latin and Persian culture, as well as Christian and Muslim cultures. The aim of the West Eastern Divan Orchestra is to promote understanding between and pave the way for a peaceful and fair solution to an age-old conflict. Barenboim himself has spoken to the orchestra as follows: "The divan is not a love story, and it is not a peace story. The divan was conceived as a project against ignorance." Graduates, and now my new fellow colleagues, herein lies the power of the arts to dispel the ignorance that separates us from one another. It is us, the College of Fine Arts graduates, who will build the bridges of understanding over the chasms of ignorance. This will not be the charge to the Eller College of Business graduates. This will not be the charge to the Rogers College of Law graduates. This will not be the charge to the College of Science graduates. It is left to us, the College of Fine Arts graduates, who will dare to stand on this perilous piece of real estate and find the courage and expression to bring each other together through the power and understanding of our individual and collective art. Sitting behind, thank you. Sitting behind me are your faculty, my colleagues, who are gathered on this momentous occasion to testify to you and celebrate with you the fact that you have done well. For the sake of your families, humanity, and my English teacher, Mrs. Tiernan, please accept this charge. Take this world-class education and go and do good. Thanks.
Thank you, Bruce. And there it is, your charge. Just to note, this ceremony can be viewed and played back at live.cfa.arizona.edu. The video of today's graduation convocation will be up within the week following the ceremony. So those that couldn't make it, you'll get to see it at home. So family members that aren't able to be here today, you have another chance to join us. We have a showcase from the School of Art, and I'd like to introduce Colin Blakely, who is the director of the School of Art, to introduce the next component to the evening.
Thank you, Jory. The thesis exhibition is the culminating experience of the Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art degree. I am happy to present to you excerpts from the exhibition of this year's graduating class.
Good evening. My name is Martina Schino. I'm the Associate Dean in the College of Fine Arts. I'd now like to present the Outstanding Graduate Teaching Awards, Assistant Awards to our graduates, which recognize the work of an extraordinary nature. Selection criteria for the Outstanding Graduate Teaching Assistant Awards includes performance within the classroom, scholarship, leadership, and citizenship. Accomplishments as demonstrated by community volunteerism efforts. In addition to one outstanding GTA from each school, one student was selected as the College of Fine Arts Outstanding Graduate Teaching Assistant. First, the School of Art. Will Shauna Sinquamani and her nominating professor please stand? Shauna is graduating with a Doctor of Philosophy in Art and Visual Culture Education. In his nomination letter, Professor Ryan Shin states that Shauna has represented the Division of Art and Visual Culture Education well, consistently receiving excellent teacher evaluations and reflecting the curricular and pedagogical theories studied in the program in innovative and meticulous syllabi. She has gone above and beyond the call of duty in mentoring peers and students in literature and pedagogy on the topics of early childhood education in visual art. She demonstrates professional readiness that is highly desirable in a university-level educator. Shauna has represented the division nationally by presenting at various conferences and through publications, research, and case studies stemming from the classes she has taught as a GTA. Congratulations, Shauna. Next, the Outstanding GTA in the Fred Fox School of Music. Will Joshua Tan and his nominating professor please stand? Joshua is graduating with a Master of Music in Piano Performance. In her nomination letter, Professor Lisa Zedeklik stated, Joshua is a gifted teacher who brings to his instruction a breadth and depth of pedagogical understanding far beyond his years. Students appreciate Joshua's engaging teaching style and the rapport that he has developed within each of his classes. He is a model of excellence as a music educator and pianist. He is one of the most talented candidates, both academically and musically, who has accepted into our master's program of study. He has distinguished himself as a fine solo performer as well as a scholar and teacher. Joshua is an exceptional grad student who is committed to excellence in his teaching, creative work, and service. Congratulations, Joshua. Next, the outstanding PTAs in the School of Theater, Film, and Television from the theater program. Will Ellie Mikula please stand? Ellie is graduating with a Master of Fine Arts degree in Design and Technical Production. In his nomination letter, Professor Richard Tuckett states, Ellie has distinguished herself as an outstanding theater artist, craftsperson, and scholar. While a graduate student at U of A, she has been selected for competitive internships at the Santa Fe Opera and the Ohio Light Opera Company. In 2014, she was recognized by the Santa Fe Opera as the outstanding technical intern that season, as a recipient of the Catherine M. Mayer Outstanding Technical Apprentice Award. Ellie Mikula is an outstanding theater artist and craftsperson and an excellent student and a leader and role model in the School of Theater, Film, and Television's costume design and production area. Her exceptional talent, maturity, and leadership make her a truly deserving nominee for the College of Fine Arts Outstanding Graduate Teaching Assistant. Congratulations, Ellie. Next, the outstanding PTA in the School of Dance in the College of Fine Arts. Will Danielle Sheeler, please, and her nominating professor, please stand. Danielle is a graduating Master of Fine Arts student in dance. In her nomination letter, Melissa Lowe states, Danielle is versatile as a performer, moving skillfully across all three disciplines of ballet, modern, and jazz. She fosters a deep respect for the art form of dance in all who are fortunate to study with her. It is noteworthy that Danielle is frequently a reliable sub for dance faculty in BFA dance major level classes across the disciplines. She enthusiastically shoulders virtually any responsibility that comes her way. She is comfortable stepping into settings where leadership skills, being a voice of authority, and engendering respect from students is required. Danielle has presented at the National Dance Education Organization's National Conference in 2015 and is a participant in the World Press blog on dancing abroad and throughout the US. She is without a doubt one of the most versatile and most advanced graduate students we have ever had. Congratulations, Danielle. The College of Fine Arts will now begin the presentation of degree candidates. The origins of the academic regalia are believed to have originated in the 12th century. The robes, colors, trimmings, and patterns you see are traditional and reflect both the degree and the disciplines. For doctoral students, navy blue is the traditional color for the Doctor of Philosophy degree, and pink is the traditional color for the Doctor of Musical Arts degree. For master's students, brown is the traditional color of fine arts, pink is the traditional color of music. There are only a few select times in the academic calendar when the university designates occasions for students and their families and friends to come together on campus. The most cherished of these times is now during commencement, when a student's perseverance and accomplishments are honored. Each name is a story of dreams, countless hours of hard work, study, practice, performance, creativity. It is the realization of this accomplishment, of realizing the challenging goal that we now celebrate. Each school within the college will be called separately to approach the stage. Students, as you come up to the stage, please first hand your blue card to the college representative after the stage steps, and then the gray card to the reader seated at the table. You will then proceed across the stage to be congratulated by the faculty from your school. After being congratulated by the faculty, we ask that you return to your seat. Parents and friends, we have hired professional photographers to capture this moment of recognition and achievement. If you wish to take your own photographs, we ask that you do so after the program. Please keep the area in front of the stage clear. Thank you. For the School of Art, will Professor Carlton Bradford, Dean Jory Hancock, Professor Colin Blakely, Director, and the School of Art faculty please come forward? And will the doctoral and master's degrees recipients from the School of Art please come forward?
Ryan Napier. Jesse Hu. Lara Haddad. Catherine Louise Killian. Carolina Kitagawa. Brad Darrow. Jeanette Cynthia Ruiz. Amy Catherine Holshoff. Aubrey Danovic. Marie Elizabeth Tiement. Anne Y. Thwaites. Taylor Catherine Miller. Downey Griner.
Will Dr. Susanna Knopfs, Dean and Director Jory Hancock in the School of Dance faculty please come forward? And will the doctoral and master's degree recipients, please, from the School of Dance, please come forward?
Lindsay Marie Worley. Myra Joy Alano Veluz. She'll go last. Danielle Lydia Sheether. Magdalena Joanna Kaczmarska.
And will Professor John Brobeck, Dean Jory Hancock, and Dr. Ed Reed, Director, and the Fred Fox School of Music faculty please come forward? And will the doctoral and master's degree recipients from the Fred Fox School of Music also please come forward?
Jung Un Oh, Master of Music in Viola Performance, being hooded by Professor Hong Mei Zhao. Xiaodi Zhu, Master of Music Harp Performance, being hooded by Professor Carol McLaughlin. Yunshin Liu, Master of Music Guitar Performance, being hooded by Professor Tom Patterson. Samantha Luna, Master of Music in Vocal Performance, being hooded by Professor Andrew Stuckey. Yvette Ortiz, Doctor of Musical Arts in Vocal Performance, being hooded by Andrew Stuckey. Fayez Ismail Abdallah Abarca, Master of Music in Music Theory, being hooded by Professor David Boyd Pomeroy. Robert Marshall, Master of Music in Performance Cello, being hooded by Dr. Ted Buchholz. Miguel Campos III, Master of Music, Music Education, being hooded by Professor Ted Buchholz. Joshua Tan, Master of Music, Piano Performance, being hooded by Professor John Milbauer. Rex Colin Mitchell, Master of Music, Cello Performance, being hooded by Professor Ted Buchholz. Joanna Park, Master of Music in Violin Performance, being hooded by Professor Lauren Roth. Jessica R. Pierpont, Master of Music in Choral Conducting, being hooded by Professor Bruce Chamberlain. Daniel James Becker, Doctor of Musical Arts in Clarinet Performance, being hooded by Professor Jerry Kirkbride. Byron Kent Ward, Master of Music, Trumpet Performance, being hooded by Professor Ed Reed. Lauren Irene Danlow, Master of Music in Music Education, being hooded by Professor Tammy Draves. Anton Feinberg, Doctor of Musical Arts, Piano Performance, being hooded by Professor John Milbauer. James Sterling, Master of Music, Choral Conducting, being hooded by Professor Bruce Chamberlain. Douglas Blair Leitenheimer, Doctor of Musical Arts, Choral Conducting, being hooded by Professor Bruce Chamberlain. Richard Robert Hinsey, Doctor of Musical Arts, Choral Conducting, being hooded by Professor Bruce Chamberlain. Jason Andrew Dungy, Doctor of Musical Arts in Choral Conducting, being hooded by Professor Bruce Chamberlain. T. Andre Fagan, Doctor of Musical Arts, Wind Conducting, being hooded by Professor Greg Hansen. Eric Fierro, Master of Music, Music Education, being hooded by Professor Tammy Draves. Michael John Royer, Master of Music, Percussion Performance, being hooded by Professor Norm Weinberg. Heike Tatevi, Master of Music, Piano Performance, being hooded by Professor Tanis Gibson. Shiho Takeda, Master of Music, Piano Performance, being hooded by Professor Tanis Gibson. Heyund Park, Doctor of Musical Arts, Piano Performance, being hooded by Professor Tanis Gibson. Chu Hua Poon, Doctor of Musical Arts, Piano Performance, being hooded by Professor Tanis Gibson.
Next will Professor Deanna Fitzgerald, Dean Jordy Hancock, Bruce Brockman, Director, and the School of Theater, Film, and Television faculty. Please come forward. And will the master's degree student recipients from the School of Theater, Film, and Television also please come forward.
Elizabeth Drayton Mikula, being hooded by Professor Peter Boudère. Angela Marie McMahon, being hooded by Professor Ted Krause. Alyssa Marie LeBlanc, being hooded by Professor Peter Boudère and Professor Claire Rowe. Melissa Reichs Erdman, being hooded by Professor Peter Boudère. Eve Catherine Bandy, being hooded by Professor Deanna Fitzgerald. Let's give our students, all of our graduate doctoral students, one more big hand of applause.
Earlier this afternoon, you were introduced to the outstanding GTA for the College of Fine Arts, Master of Fine Arts in Dance student, Danielle Sheether. Throughout her tenure at the university, Danielle has served in several areas, including the University Fellows Program, the UA Dance Ensemble, as a rehearsal assistant, a graduate teaching assistant, a co-assistant to the Arizona Jazz Dance Showcase, and she has taught non-major classes per semester consistently and was given the opportunity to teach ballet in Nogales, Mexico, while at the U of A. Her choreography has been performed at Hoscla Hall and on the Steve Yeller stage. Her research has been presented at the National Dance Education Organization Conference. This summer, Danielle is headed to Melbourne, Australia, to study with Anouk van Dyk. Australia. All right. Danielle is incredibly passionate about creating work driven by the human experience and continues to attempt to illuminate them with her choreography and performances. Please join me in welcoming Danielle Sheether.
Good evening, faculty, family, friends, staff, and fellow graduates. It is truly an honor to be standing here before each and every one of you today as the outstanding graduate teaching assistant for the College of Fine Arts. An honor I know that is hard to come by and deserved by every graduate student in this room. I know this beyond a shadow of a doubt because we have chosen to study fine arts. We have chosen to study our passion and attempt to make it our livelihood. A feat that comes with its pitfalls, disappointments, insecurities, and challenges, but whose rewards are unparalleled. Having been told that I would be standing here upon my master's graduation 17 years ago, I might have chuckled and rattled off some offbeat, incredibly sarcastic comment with a few choice words that would have prompted my father to reply in his Jersey accent, "Danielle, it might be true, but tone it down a bit." That same comment would have prompted my mother to say, "Way to go, girl." I would have said this because my high school guidance counselor told me she couldn't announce my major upon graduation because I would ruin their quota at their precious school. So instead, I would be graduating as an undecided major. I would have said this because my ballet teacher at the time told me, "You're really smart. Are you sure you want to dance?" I would have said this because growing up, dance wasn't an acceptable profession to those who had no idea the drive, dedication, and personal responsibility it instilled in me. Still, I consider myself one of the lucky ones who had parents and many, many mentors who did support my dreams. They were my examples. They were my leaders. They were the ones who taught me to stand up, fight, and never take no for an answer. They were the ones who taught me to unlock doors, and if they wouldn't open, how to kick them in. You know, the grand battement is more useful on stage in class. And so I stand here before you today, humbled and honored that I share the study of fine arts with like-minded individuals who are not strangers to hard work, who are happy to continue to hone their craft and dedicate their existence to their art, who understand that there are only 24 hours a day and would happily spend every waking moment of that 24-hour period drawing, playing, dancing, singing, acting, filming, and creating so that they might touch the lives of those around them. I'd like to commend us for our courage. It takes a lot for us to proceed with our studies. I'd like to commend us for our stick-to-itiveness. Courage is our most trusted friend, especially when we think that our art is worthless or this path futile. Courage is what got us here today and will keep us going tomorrow. I can't know what drew you to your study of fine arts. I haven't quite grasped the concept of telepathy, although as a dancer, I'm pretty close to discovering levitation. For me, I was drawn to the ephemeral quality of dance, that it is there, and then, at the click of a clock's turn, it dissipates. It taught me so much about the fleeting moments in life. That we should learn to hold them near and dear and close to our hearts. It taught me about the ability to say so many things without saying nothing at all. Don't worry, this isn't the part where I burst into an interpretive dance. It is the part, however, where I challenge us to continue drawing, playing, dancing, singing, acting, filming, and creating so that we can inspire the next generation of artists. It is the part where I stand firm in my belief that the fine arts have the ability to leave no child behind. It is the part where I heed the warning that we should band together with one large voice to let students and future artists know that our studies can move mountains, can change the world, can breed acceptance, and can bring humanity together. It is the part where I thank my high school guidance counselor and former ballet teacher because they were instrumental in discovering that just because something's difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And finally, it is the part where I pray that our courage never waver, that our artistry continue to develop, and that our minds never tire of discovering our individual expression for a collective voice. And with that, I am reminded of a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Be the change you wish to see in the world. As we graduate today, there are so many changes that lie ahead. Some of us may even be asking ourselves, why did I major in this? What the hell am I going to do now? And to that, I ask that you remember the fire that evokes your passion for this study. And I challenge you to find the courage you had upon embarking on your journey of your graduate studies. It's there. And if you can't seem to find it, run. Don't walk to the nearest artists. They're probably sitting right beside you. They are there to remind you because they were once there too. Thank you and congratulations. I am humbled to have received this award, and I share it with each and every one of you. In dance, we say merde instead of break a leg, for obvious reasons. So merde to our next chapter. Thank you.
No child left behind. That's great. From the Fred Fox School of Music, I'd like to welcome John Brobeck, Associate Professor, to introduce the next piece. John.
Our final showcase performance today will be of the, as you can tell from your program, of the Schumann Liszt Widmung. It's a performance of a Franz Liszt arrangement for solo piano of a song by Robert Schumann. The song Widmung forms a part of Schumann's song cycle Myrtin, opus 25. The tender love sentiments of the poetry set by Schumann, poetry written by Friedrich Rückert, must have seemed apropos to Schumann since he composed the cycle and gave it as a wedding present to his bride, Clara Wieck Schumann, in 1840, the year of their wedding. The song subsequently was arranged a number of times, including a piano solo arrangement by Clara herself. Predictably, Liszt's piano arrangement from 1848 is a much more virtuosic affair. This work will be performed today by President's Concert Concerto winner Yi Ching Tang, who is a doctoral student of Dr. John Milbauer.
King Tang. Thank you so much. Today, in the space of a little over an hour, we've seen our wonderful artists and scholars celebrate their accomplishments, and to help us with that, we've had processional music, a dance, a presentation from our outstanding GTA, the dance. We've had video, photography, this final performance by Schumann. What other college do you imagine has this much fun at commencement? I don't think there are any. This beginning, which for many of you is really probably a second or a third ceremony, is significant, and it's right to celebrate and to enjoy this time with your family and friends. Remember this day. Keep the U of A in your thoughts. Write to us, come back, visit us. Inspire others, as Danielle said, to be artists. Maybe inspire your own children to be artists. And maybe someday, some of your children will be up on this stage graduating, and you'll be out there as parents watching. The most important thing of all is to remember what you have accomplished here, and to remember that we are, as Bruce Chamberlain said, extremely proud of what you have done. You carry the flame of this faculty forward, and so we thank you for that. We trust that you will always, with honor, carry U of A in your hearts and carry the arts forward. We want to acknowledge the tech team and the student services team and volunteers for all their hard work in planning this program. I'm going to go through the list, but there they are up on the screen. Let's hold your applause till the end, but here they are: Miranda Beck, Amy Burmeister, David McGuigan, Gabby Medina, Marisa Owens, Jen Romeo, Cynthia Barlow, Dow Hodges, and Dane Velasquez for their work with the slideshow. It was so terrific to have those images behind each person as they came up to get their to be robed. All the technical support for today's ceremony, as well as our CFA ambassadors and CFA student assistant team, Ashley Bowman for her work on the program, and a special thanks to Lindsay Shackleton and Ryan Burton Romero for planning this special event. Lindsay and Ryan, thank you so much for your work. Let's give them all a hand. And one final reminder to students and guests, again, this ceremony can be viewed and played back at live.cfa.arizona.edu. The video of today's graduation convocation will be up in about a week. We are done, except for the career ahead. Go get it. All right, thank you all. Congratulations.